when I did a story or I did a breakdown, I believe it was last week or the week before. And I told you guys, I said, there's no way that I'm buying any place or that I'm investing in these southern states. Because contrary to popular belief, the climate is changing whether you believe in global warming or not. Doesn't even matter. Y'all can argue back and forth and y'all can do all of that you want to do. But the climate is changing regardless of how you feel, right? And so when you look at how it is that you're investing, a lot of people are just me too's. And when I say me too's, they look at whatever the most popular thing that's happening from a financial perspective is, and then they start to lean into that thing as though that's going to make them rich. It's not. Even when you're getting into real estate, a lot of people are going to lose their shirts. A lot of people are going to lose their shirts getting into real estate. And I am very, very careful, and I take a long-term approach. If you have not watched the video of the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to make an investment, you need to go back into the Patreon and watch that video. I dropped it last year. In Florida, specifically, over 1 million homeowners are facing double-digit rate hikes in insurance, and there's really only one main insurance company that still exists in Florida, because it's a potential disaster zone. And insurance companies are going out of business as a result of participating in certain environments and states. And it has nothing to do with the liberal policies or the conservative policies or anything like that. It has everything to do. It's a reason why I tell anybody that lives in Louisiana, get the fuck out. Anybody that lives in Louisiana, run. Don't buy a house. Don't buy a property. If you can, get rid of the property as soon as possible and get the hell out of Louisiana. All right? Let's go ahead and get into the story. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Feel like this is not audio, is not playing correctly. Let me see if I can get that in. See if I can get that audio popping.
I'm Jameson Euler.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Citizens Property Insurance is proposing an average 14% increase on all personal lines of policies. That means homeowners, condo owners, mobile homeowners, and renters. Remember, Citizens is the last resort property insurance provider in the state, and only those who are left with no other affordable options can sign up.
ABC.
It's the last insurance company that insures these type of properties down in Florida. Florida is just one example of it. This is happening all over the United States. It's the last remaining one for them to even have availability to be able to get this type of insurance in this area in the first place. Over 1 million homeowners are facing double-digit rate hikes. If y'all don't understand how insurance companies work, I can do a whole breakdown on it. What the business model is, how they go out of business, how they make money, why Warren Buffett initially invested in insurance companies in order to continue to build his legacy and his portfolio. Let's continue.
Action News in-depth reporter Stasi Almos has been covering the property insurance crisis for months now. She joins us in the studio with what this means for homeowners right here in the Bay Area. Stasi?
Well, guys, right now, Citizens is supposed to be the last resort option here, but I've been covering this issue for almost 2 years, and again, people tell me it's their only option. And here's why. Nearly a dozen private companies have gone insolvent in the last couple years, they claim, due to outrageous lawsuit costs. Dozens more have pulled out of the state or stopped writing new business, and overall, rates. Homeowners are seeing their insurance costs double, even triple, as companies try to pay their expenses. So, yes.
Rita and I, we had the opportunity to go and look at some properties down in Florida. And if you go from Miami over to Miami Beach or Miami Beach over back to Miami, because it's 2 different things. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is 2 different places. There's this island, and I forgot what the name of the island is, where it's all of these beautiful homes. And it's basically you got to take a bridge to get on it or a bridge to get off of it. And they have a security guard over there, and so we winged it. We seen the security guard turning different people that wasn't supposed to be over there, that wasn't either a visitor or whatever that wasn't supposed to be there, turn them away. But we winged it because we had the Lamborghini, and we was like, well, Let's see if he'll let us in. So he looked out and he seen the car and he looked at us. He was like, oh, yeah, you guys are good. And he went ahead and let us in, right? And we seen some properties being built and some of them was awesome and things like that. And we wind up going on Redfin and the different applications in order to look at the value for some of these properties and whatever like that. And we looked at them and then we start doing a little bit of research when we got home. And some of these properties was between 5 and 10 million. Some of them was 3 million. Some of them was 14 million, right? Star Island. That's what it is. Shout out to Connie Mathis. It's Connie. No, Connie, you must be over there. Kevin, Jared, all of y'all. Big Smooth, Star Island. Everybody know what it is, right? So we was over there. And so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about then. Everybody over there that's living in Florida know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go over to Star Island, it's some beautiful spaces, beautiful homes, but they got a security guard. So in order to be able to get in there, you got to kind of finesse, especially if you're not visiting somebody. But, we start looking at all of the research and everything like that, right? And the thing about it is just that I told Rita at the end of the day, I said, it's no way that I would ever buy a property over in Florida, even right here in a beautiful Star Island. There's no way that I would ever spend any money buying property over in Florida because A, the cost of even having insurance, B, the ability to be able to sell the property, and then C, is it a smart real estate investment? Rita is smitten, absolutely smitten with Southern Florida. If Rita could pick up and move to Southern Florida today, if I let her move to Southern Florida today, she would be gone tomorrow. If I let her move to Southern Florida today, she would be gone tomorrow. Rita plays no games. She is absolutely in love with Southern Florida. But when I this is one of the reasons why women need a man in their life. This is one of the reasons why a woman need a man in their life. Because I started looking at it from a business perspective and I said, Rita, this don't make sense. We gonna come and visit. We gonna have a good time. We gonna write it off as a business expense because it's very much important for us to take care of business when we're down in Florida. But it's no way, no how. I don't know how y'all justifying buying property and moving into Florida. Somebody gonna have to fill me in of why it makes sense. I'm curious if somebody is a real estate investor and they are leveraging the majority of their resources over to stay in Florida. Please let me know because I am not familiar. I am very much open to learning. But Florida, in my opinion, it's a great place to live when it comes to having a phenomenal governor, but it is a horrible place to live when it comes to looking at it as a long-term investment. I am advocating against everybody from ever investing in Florida. Let's continue.
Yes, Citizens now has a record number of policies. Prior to 2020, they averaged about 400,000 policies. Today, they tell me about 1.3 million. One of those is Inda Stagg.
Citizens was my only option. No one else would touch me.
Inda Staggs lives in a quaint 1926 home in St. Petersburg.
I moved here in 2018. The insurance it doubled by 2020.
She says it went from about $3,000 to $6,000. And last year,
they told me my insurance was going to go up to almost $13,000.
It went from $3,000 for that house. Look at that house right there. Most of the houses in Florida is not even that good looking. I'm going to be honest with you. Florida is very much, let me not say Florida, Miami is very much the perfect display of class wars. It's the perfect display of class wars. It is a rich person's paradise. It is a middle class person's nightmare. It is a rich person's paradise. It is a middle class person's nightmare. She said it's basically went from 3 to 6, and now she's looking at it to being $13,000. $13,000 from $3,000 for that little shack. For that little shack. $13,000 from $3,000 just for insurance. That ain't got nothing to do with property taxes. That ain't got nothing to do with maintenance. That don't have nothing to do with any of that. I'm telling you, every single thing that you do, you need to look at it from a business perspective. When I see, somebody said everybody is moving there. When I see everybody doing something, I usually try to figure out why it makes sense for me to do the opposite. When I see everybody doing something there, I usually try to figure out how I can do the opposite. Because I know it's a red flag in there. It's a red flag in there somewhere.
Which was crazy.
She says the next insurance company she got dropped her within 1 month, and the only option left was Citizens.
$4,555 a year for my 1,100 square foot home.
A third of what her insurance would have been with her first insurer, but still 3 times the amount she was paying in Virginia in 2018.
I have nightmares about the insurance here.
And the nightmares are getting worse.
I'm very concerned about what's going to happen this year because I know it's going to go up maybe 15%. And I got a notice that said if another company offers you within 20%, then you have to take it.
New legislation passed in the second special session on property insurance last year makes a homeowner ineligible for Citizens if another company offers to take their policy at a rate within 20% of Citizens. It also requires all Citizens homeowners to get supplemental flood insurance, no matter their flood zone. And now the state-regulated company is asking the Office of Insurance Regulation for an average 14% rate increase.
And guess what? It's not going to stop there. Every single year is going to go up more and more and more and more and more. And I'm telling y'all, look, she said paying more. She's paying more than triple of what she was paying in Virginia. Take your ass back to Virginia. When we were in California, when we were talking to people, and I was asking them, I said, you know, because we did the boardwalk and then we walked down to Venice Beach and we were having a conversation and we were strolling, holding hands and kissing and all of that other type of stuff, right? We was being in love. And I would ask people, I said, man, why do y'all live in Cali? I even asked my dog Jay Woodfin, because we wound up having dinner there or whatever like that. I said, why do y'all live in California? He said, it's the weather. It's the weather. We don't care about the taxes. We don't care about the governor. We don't care about what they teaching our kids in school. We don't care about how much it costs us to live. We don't care about the immigration policies. We don't care about none of that. It's all about the weather. I'm amazed. I am absolutely floored and amazed at how much you guys are willing to sacrifice as far as your quality of life in order to stay in a place that's not even conducive for your lifestyle. Y'all pay these egregious prices. Homes about to be washed away. I just can't. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Let's continue.
Citizens is incredibly inexpensive. They don't want to write any business, but they're taking on a huge amount of risk. So it puts the policyholders at risk. It puts the citizens in the state of Florida at risk.
Tampa Bay insurance agent Mike Puffer says he's writing almost all of his new business with Citizens. The others have homes valued above Citizens' max of $700,000.
Even what we're seeing when we have to endorse a lot of the policies or write flood policies, it's still cheaper than if they were to just buy a standalone policy through the private market.
According to Citizens, an analysis of homeowners'
Look at them
rates in
small
2022
homes.
found their average premium was 44% below premiums charged by 9 private companies in the state. Looking at their latest data from the end of March, Citizens has about 1.3 million policies, with nearly $3.9 million from premiums and surcharges, compared to $502 million in total exposure, meaning the amount of everything they are insuring.
If I'm considering leaving because of the insurance, I honestly don't know what people who have less than I do.
But here's the problem. And here's the problem, ma'am. It doesn't even matter if you're considering leaving at this point. You know why? Because it's going to be very difficult to find somebody to buy your property. And so when you're looking at this type of stuff from a business perspective, ladies and gentlemen, you have to look at it objectively of what the next person is going to do and whether or not you can stick them with your worthless property when you get ready to leave. I'm telling you, it's going to be gnashing of the teeth. Remember this day. I always say I told you so. Monday, June 12th, 2023 It's going to be gnashing of the teeth. It's going to be a lot of complaining. They've been kicking the can down the road. And I'm telling you, it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, 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 very bad for the majority of people. And you know what else the funniest part about it? I see them just keep on building over there in Florida. I see buildings going up, homes going up. Is nobody else paying attention to what's happening over in the Florida economy but me? I go down there and I study Florida so I can know how I need to invest more into the Midwest. I'm over there and sometimes me and Rita, we will take a day and we will literally go through and ride through wherever it is that we are in Florida to better understand what the hell is going on. Why do they build the houses like that? Do they even have basements? How often do this area get flooded? We ask ourselves these questions because it's very important for us to understand why people are doing the stuff that they're doing. Why is everybody so dedicated to going down there? Is it that deep? Is the dating that important? Is the weather that important? You can't just fly back and forth. Okay, listen, I'm going to go and rent something for 3 to 6 months down in Florida during the winter, and then I'm going to come back for the summer.